How's it going, guys? Back here again with some more Historic Brawl. Ah, I got it wrong again. Brawl here in MTG Arena. Today, checking out Annie Flash. And our first match is a concession. That's not good. I haven't played with Annie Flash, so I don't know if she's actually a powerful commander or not. I didn't even really get to do much playtesting with her. And it's mainly because I built a couple of decks, right? Like I didn't really build a couple of decks at a time, so that I have time to play test things out before I actually record for them. And the first deck I built with Annie, and I thought we've built a dumb deck. This probably is not what we're supposed to be doing. And then I built another deck, and I was like, all right, this deck feels like it's more mechanically well put together. I'm a little bit more proud of that. And then the third deck I worked on, I was like, wow, this just works. So I ended up playing more of that than anything else. Uh, like I said, like I've said in the past, you don't really know from a couple of playtesting sessions exactly how good a deck is, because it depends on what you run into, right? Like if you run into the wrong thing, Blood Moon feels cool. We're gonna get down our turtle first, I think, because Blood Moon at this point in the game murks us and does nothing to our opponent. In fact, we probably should have just put it to the bottom because it's kind of not good. Although it's a good discard fodder for this if we need to. Let's mill a bit. Here we go, up to 5. You'll love to see it. Mr. Turtle, he's in the deck because he technically mills, and our commander wants at least something in the graveyard. And like, we have a discard package, right? Where we either discard our hand or a card to draw X cards, right? Like that package is in the deck, but it's not as fast as just a straight up mill. And oh my god, an Exclamation, that is scary stuff. I can't even get rid of it either. That is not great. My removal is a little too short. Let's mill. I can Nykthos. So I guess we're killing Vorinclex. I would have liked to get the Exclamation, but then blocking with it is just not likely. Vorinclex will be cast again. It does come with a 7-mana tax, which is approximately 3 lands. Goreclaw. What makes 9 mana by himself? Where is my farewell? I need it. Do we have it? I hope I do. Like, not because this is supposed to be like a permanent interaction heavy build, and I wanted to rely on so many staples in the format that I usually rely on. So so that I get to play and show off more cards. This is why we have, like, Ulfcalt's Fury. Block. Damage go burr. Collective Defiance. Hmm. More damage. It's just not enough. We are thoroughly beat at this point. If we had targeted the Nyx Bloom Agent with the Oathbird Fury, we could have had 4 damage on it still, and then 4 more damage would have made a difference, but not doing that freed our opponent to have an additional 7 mana to work with during that turn, or the turn afterwards, and what they did with the mana that they had was already pretty scary. I'm gonna start with this boy, just so I can get my mill going. We're kind of pseudo Reanimator, just a bit. Okay. Turn. This is a reconfigured creature, so our opponent, Nahiri, is definitely an equipment commander. Hmm. Yeah. Alright. We want to ramp, I think. We need to find a. Well, I was hoping for a creature, but a land that does not be got by this. Does not be got. Very sad I is. But even though you don't get the protection ability from blinking One Ring, there's still value in blinking it in that you can remove counters, right? Like you can draw a card with it every turn, or you can draw multiple cards by waiting a bit. Yeah, I'll block. My boy is not doing much, if I'm being honest. Okay. Yeah, it's a tap land though, so it's kind of not great. I don't know. Any is one of those cards that's difficult for me personally to build around because she has a permanent reanimation ability, which is very powerful. Like that's a good ability, and then she has an ability where uh, if she becomes tapped, you can exile the top 2 cards of your library, and you may play those cards this turn. So, like those are some reasonable abilities. Uh, but building a shell that connects them is kind of difficult. And that's why I don't know. That's why I find commanders like her difficult. Ones that have 2 like reasonable abilities, but they're not directly related to one another. And as a result, it's kind of difficult to try to figure out how best to use them, right? Because we build around the first ability, the reanimate permanent through your left, right? Like most of the things that are going to go in our graveyard fit that bill, and reasonable, right? But second ability can also be built around, and it can also create something fairly reasonable, probably even slightly stronger. But then there's that third option that I'm not good at, and I want to be better at in the future of not really combining, but interweaving the two abilities to make a more powerful outcome. Right? One Ring is powerful opponent. I don't know if you know this. It's a very powerful card. It keeps me alive when I really shouldn't be. Talk about stakelish cards that I rely on too much. One Ring is definitely in that camp. Problem is, it's just immensely good. Like, it's very, very good. Is there anything in here? It can solve infinite number. Oh. Cheers. No, not really. Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah. Uh, that's all I got. I could play my circle with my World Shaper. World Shaper would block 4 damage, and then I would take 11. Or it would block 7, and I would take 9. 7 or 9 are larger than my life total, so we are dead either way. Draw a card opponent. That, I have my high noon now. Ouch. GG. We'll go on to a game 3. We are losing bad, man. I didn't expect much. My confidence in this deck was not very high to begin with. But maybe we can turn it around. Like, even even clunky decks can steal a win here and there, right? That's on the table. It's possible. We can make it happen. Uh, hmm. Hopefully we will too, because if not, it will color my perception of Naya, and I'll stop building Naya decks, and then slowly over time will become a counter draw channel, and yeah, that'll just be all of the Brawl content. We'll sit there behind our Brawl and we'll counter spells, and we'll draw cards. Glorious. Glorious and tedious at the same time, as Richard Garfield intended. Gotta say, one of out of the backgrounds, the Amonkhet one is probably one of my favorites because it just is very cool. You get the top-down city perspective. Uh, what? I don't really have the resources to utilize it correctly right now. I realize that I don't have a lot of creatures. As a result, my Cabaretti assembly is pretty bad. Minsick. I do love me Minsick though. If I ever do stop playing Naya, I definitely will not stop playing Minsick because the dude is gas. He's about as good as it gets. Okay. Repercussions. I think we're onto something. I think we can sneakily win our way through this. With anti-flash against a mill deck, like, the winds are favorable. The conditions are optimal. We should have a fairly strong start. We lost our Collective Defiance. I don't. Maybe it was, but I don't know. Collective Defiance is one of those cards that I was surprised to see in the breaking news, or the not breaking news. God, what is that? Who knows? Repercussion. Repercussion is good at dealing damage. Mana Flare is a cool card. It's just a bit of a shame that it is always better for your opponent than you. But I think And Flash is one of the decks where it's better for you than your opponent because you can throw it in the graveyard and then you can flash in and flash at your opponent in step after they used all of their mana. And you can mana flare as much as you like, right? Like, it's good stuff. Good stuff. I approve. Uh-huh. Could have done 3 so that I could get down the Esper Sentinel. This is lethal next turn, regardless of blockers, right? So Minsick makes it a 4/4 again, and then Repercussions just uh, forces the damage if they block or if they don't block. Yep, it's Repercussions. The damage happens either way. You take 3, I take 1. GG. Well, we did get one sneaky win there in the end by using arguably what we set out to use and Flash for, which is sneaking in powerful little enchantments. Although we hard cast this one, right? We didn't sneak it in, but that's the ideal behind this deck, that we have these very, very cheap artifacts and enchantment permanents that are 3 CMC and less, and we use N Flash to reanimate them so that we get a double use out of them, or so that we can just sneak them in during our opponent's turn. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.